Say good morning to a couple of you who are on our streams. And we have Awal Mohammed. Awal Mohammed is a regular on the show. I haven't been able to have some great discussions with him. I've been watching him a lot with Na a couple of times. So somebody called you a disruptor. That your opponents allow you to talk, but you don't allow them to talk. But I was defending you, that you are not like that. You're not like that. Good morning to you, Awal.
Good morning.
Yeah, one great guy. And then, also, of course, legal practitioner, regular on the show, director, when it comes to the legal directorate of the NDC, Aduji Tamaklo is a regular here on Monday mornings. Good morning to you, Aduji Tamaklo. How was your weekend?
Good morning, and good morning to my brother, Awa, who used to be a very good comrade until he decided to jump ship.
I don't understand. What do you mean by comrade?
No, we're in a struggle together. He was a very strong team member. He jumped ship, and today...
You mean he was a member of the NDC?
Yeah, very strong and a very committed member. I don't know what happened along the way.
So what he...
But I'm just
so what,
a good morning,
No, I don't know. You mean he defected?
Well,
is it public news? I haven't followed this.
Oh, no. Okay. So good morning to him. Good morning to your good self.
No, I haven't followed
your cherished and committed viewers. Good morning to them.
As you know, we're here to talk about some constructive issues.
Fantastic.
Foremostly, we'll be looking at the Electoral Commission, BVDs, etc. And you look at the numbers that are being churned out by Imani Africa, and then the disputes by the Electoral Commission itself in terms of the SAMs, BVDs also being, is it recycled, so to speak, without the information being given to the parties just to be in the know? That should be a concern for everybody. And then also by the close of the Friday, we got to know that the Electoral Commission was rehapping or re-echoing that aspect of the pink sheets not being signed by party agents, not invalidating the electoral result, which is true. But if a party should raise, that is, a party agent should raise an issue and not sign a pink sheet, doesn't it mean that there's an issue with that electoral result for that polling station or wherever it is? And so Solly Evans has joined us. Nelson Yesu Tor Kofi Akoti has also joined us. Please make sure you share so that we'll have some great conversations this morning. But in the meantime, let me just play an insert. Do you have the Vincent Asefwa insert? Play that for me. So that I'll ask a while here some key questions. It's a public insert, so the way Awal is doing, as if it's some new. Listen, please play it. Vincent Asefwa.
That has been restored. It was very critical at the time. Samuel, Wokasa, Ubeka, the restoration of the nursing training allowances. Ubeka said, National Health Insurance Scheme, Indeed, these issues were very critical in helping us win an election in 2020. But I'm telling you that this year, those issues cannot win us an election. 2024, free SHS and to me winning an election. And I'm speaking to you as a researcher. Restoration of national teachers' allowances and to me winning an election. Restoration of nursing training allowances, it cannot win us an election. What can win us an election? I am no one knew. Our ability or inability to communicate the economic difficulties that we are facing in our country. That is number one.
Yeah, so that's the end of the incident. Well, you know that Bawumia is kickstarting his campaign
Today. Yes.
He's never really admitted that we're in economic difficulty, apart from saying that he has led a digitalized. But here we have our good friend, myself, John, everybody. We all love Vincent. He seems a very sincere guy. What do you make of this?
Thank you so much.
Yes, when you come, you say free SHS and all that. So when I saw this insert, I was a bit taken aback.
Thank you so much. Good morning to our cherished viewers, and thank you so much for the opportunity. I think Dr. Bawumia is starting a campaign today in the Eastern region, and this is a campaign that he will start non-stop.
Where is he going first?
I have not really checked but the
You've not apprised yourself of the schedule
exactly,
yet.
but I know that he's starting today in the Eastern region, and he will do all the 34 or so constituencies in the Eastern region, and he has kick-started 275 constituency campaign. You know, he's vice president, so definitely if there's something cross up in Accra, he may come back to Accra and still move back. But he is starting with the Eastern region, and he'll do all the 16 regions at a go. This is a battle of ideas, our records, and what he believes that he will be able to do when elected as president. So these are the things that he will go and meet stakeholders, like students, market women, chiefs, and so on. So this is what Dr. Bawumia is going to really prosecute, and he will do an effective campaign across the country.
He's not, Free SHS won't win him the election.
So I'm coming there, because he said two. I was thinking you will mention you allow him say that exactly. So because I'm seeing the video for the first time, I think it's largely true that when you don't communicate the issues very well, you may lose the elections, and there are facts to state that indeed we have done so well, so well. But I've seen a research that says that the human mind is not a processor of facts. It's a processor of story. When you are able to tell your story well, there is the highest possibility that you'll be able to. So I largely agree with him. Okay. In 2016, we came with a campaign of change and agenda for jobs. We mentioned free senior high school, we mentioned restoration, we mentioned all these things that he mentioned. We came in and walked the talk. We're able to implement all these things that we're able to, we campaign on. And in 2020, we stood on that to say that we have restored allowance. We've done free senior high school. We've done 1, 2, 3, 4. So look at that and vote for us. And Ghanaians really checked, and they really found out that indeed we're able to implement all these. So they voted for us. So going forward, you cannot dwell on that. The only thing is that I said that the vice president will move and talk about our records. We'll do comparative analysis of our records vis-a-vis what former President Mahama has been able to do, and his NDC. That's very important. So it's true that we are in economic difficulties. You do not need the vice president to come and tell you that we are in crisis when the president himself came to admit in December 2022 that we are in an economic crisis. He addressed this nation, the president addressed this nation and said we are in crisis.
With what Vincent Akwa is saying,
well,
to be communicated to get to win the election. That's why
yes,
when I saw the insert, I was surprised.
Yes, maybe that's your understanding, but I'm communicating the same thing he's communicating. I am telling you that the president, you ask that the vice president has not even admitted we are in economic crisis. The president said it in December 2022. He addressed this nation in one of the fellow Ghanaians' address, said that the economy is in crisis. And we all came out to say that the economy was in crisis, but we'll be able to salvage the situation. Now,
who did that? The president?
Yes. He addressed this nation and admitted
Which
that...
of the episodes of the...
I'm saying the last one he did, in this country, he addressed the nation and said we were in economic crisis. The president, these are his words. I'm not paraphrasing. He said the economy is in crisis and we'll be able to salvage it. And indeed, when you check from then, in 2022, what he said, compared to today, that time, inflation was around 54%. Today, inflation is around 20-something percent. That time, economic growth was around 2-3%. So these are the issues. We will communicate and tell the people of this country where we are. When you check our records between 2017 and 2020, before COVID and Russia-Ukraine, you could tell that indeed we had stellar performance. Okay. And after 2020, when you check, there is no country in the world that didn't go through economic crisis. So it's true that we will have to communicate for the Ghanaian to understand that this is where we are coming from, this is where we have gotten to, and when the crisis came, these are the measures that we have put in place compared to what the NDC will propose.
Okay. But the understanding I get is that Vincent says the campaign should not be about that there should be an admission that the economic problems, the malaise affecting it. He's also saying free SHS. So now I'm wondering.
I would, first of all, preface my intro with an article Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia wrote in the Cambridge University Press, that is the Journal of Modern African Studies, volume 36, number 1, at page 70. This is what he says. Many rural voters who had been the major beneficiaries of the Structural Adjustment Program overwhelmingly voted with their pocketbooks and returned the incumbent, that's the Jerry Rawlings administration, to power. Many urban voters, on the other hand, who, as a group, bore most of the cost of adjustment, similarly voted with their pocketbooks by voting against the incumbents. A major lesson to be drawn from the Ghanaian experience is that good policies will be rewarded and bad policies will be punished by the electorate. Yes. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia.
Sure.
Now, when you put this in proper perspective, you recall Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia making the point that the economy is your pocket. Nothing more, nothing else. In fact, he said, look, all economic gymnastics come to one conclusion. What is in your pocket? Today, by reason of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia being the chair of the economic management team, now I don't know whether it's mismanagement team, what is not in doubt is that the average Ghanaian today, be it a rural voter or urban voter, is worse off than the time Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia took over, whether before COVID or after COVID. Even before COVID, by 2019, the Akufo-Addo-Bawumia administration had put up a 40-member committee to help stop the depreciation of the cedi.
So your point is?
A clear admission that even before COVID-19, the economy was already on its way down. COVID only reflected, excuse my language, maybe somebody who has an underlying condition, and then COVID came and exacerbated the situation. But what is not in doubt is the underlying condition of that particular person. Look, the record will show today that under the leadership of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, inflation had moved to a point where it was 54%. At that time, the only two countries that we did better than were Sudan and Zimbabwe. They were the only two countries. At the time where our inflation was 54%, we're doing better than
within that period in 2022.
Yes. Then now, the Akufo-Addo-Bawumia administration are competing among themselves to the point that they have moved it from 54 to 25 or 24. And now they say, look, clap for us within ourselves. It cannot be. Look at how the 54% inflationary rate took people's income away. Today, as we speak, the depreciation of the cedi is wiping away the income and savings of Ghanaians, the real value of it. So that if you had about 2 billion Ghana cedis as at 2016, the value today would have reduced by half. Today, this is an economy that has the highest unemployment rate that we have seen post-2016, the highest. We are doing unemployment of 14%. So young people who are coming out of university today are having to struggle to get meaningful, decent job.
Well, the response is that we have difficulties because of exogenous factors.
No.
And I won't even mention that. Why didn't you mention that?
In fact, there's a video I wish you would play where Honorable Kweku Kwati who is the chair of the finance committee, I think you have that video.
Yeah, we do.
He makes the point that the issue cannot be a question of Russia, Ukraine, and COVID-19 exogenous factors. There had been a critical issue of mismanagement itself, and that Ghana was going to get here anyway, whether with or without those exogenous.
These are just preliminary.
Just so I'll wrap up on this. Today, we have exchange rates in the region of 14 Ghana cedi to $1. We have never seen that before. In fact, the worst we have seen were in the 1980s. So the ordinary Ghanaian out there who is looking at his pocket is reminded of these famous words of President Kufuor. He said, "Shewa sitinem nato abapa." Okay. If you no, and so you can come. Nana Danko Akufo-Addo had these words. Osi Ghana yaye mobo dodo. Yaye mobo kura dodo. Na Ghana yo hiamai. Na mamu obo 19 yebre in a comedy. And then, where is the Sika Akufo-Addo promise? We are so bankrupt, and I'll end on this note. We are so bankrupt.
COVID, Russia, Ukraine.
Look, we are so bankrupt today that as we speak, government of Ghana owes SNIT alone in excess of 50 billion Ghana cedis. Workers, 700,000 workers, their contribution, the 13% government is supposed to deduct by controller and give to SNIT. The Akufo-Addo Bawumia administration had failed to take this money to SNIT to the point that penalties, fees, and charges, if you put everything together, this government owes SNIT, Ghanaian workers. So if you are going on retirement now, there's a high possibility that what is due you, you will not get it. That is the extent of the mismanagement. And this is Dr. Bawumia.
Well, it's related
so
to
he
the
cannot run
SNIT
away
issue.
from that.
I don't know whether you've seen the SNIT release. Have you perused it?
And you see,
because it does say that it says
that
pension payments are not funded by reserves, and continues that the government is currently in the payment of contributions on behalf of its workers. Modalities are in place to serve.
No,
so
you see,
you don't think modalities are in place to service?
You see, when you read the International Labour Organization, this is not like some fanciful organization, a very reputable international organization.
It's an organ of the UN, actually.
And had come out to say, from their actuarial studies and everything, what is not in doubt is that our reserves are beginning to deplete. So you cannot wish away this serious matter with a rejoinder or propaganda. The most important thing is that over 700,000 Ghanaian workers stand the risk of losing their pension. And that is why, as I speak to you, organized labor had put out a notice that on the 1st and 2nd of May, if government of Ghana does not show how they are going to pay this over 50 billion Ghana cedi worth of their contribution.
What did you get the 50 billion for?
No, it's out there. In fact, the Parliamentary Select Committee on Employment had visited MS SNIT. Controller is here to refund that money, even though government had collected it as source.